Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Fizz. We are taking a look at the Extra Life live stream stuff. I'll go over that in a minute, but we're going to go over the second reveal, which is the magma lizard, aka the lava lizard that they called it. And yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be showcased and everything. And remember, everything is recorded off of Twitch and everything, so this is just my second take, and I'll talk about at the end when the devs are stopped talking. But yeah, not about that. Let's get started, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Fizz. Welcome back to the channel, keeping you guys in the loop of ARK Genesis stuff. Before we start, all the information that I am going to be showcasing you guys with different videos over the course of the next couple days is from the Extra Life live stream, which is right here. I have it on the page right now. If you want to help support children in need, please, link description down below will be the first link. I am helping them out on the back end side, so I'm not actually helping with stream or anything because I'm a little sick. I don't know if you can even tell, but anyways, enough about that. So please help out, and yes, and also watch the stream if you want to watch yourself. I'll also link that as the second link as well. So before we go in, yes, please donate. If not, watch the stream and have some fun. There is some stuff you can win during the stream, I'm assuming. But yeah, anyways, let's get into the information about what they're talking about for Genesis.
Go ahead, Luke.
Luke!
All right.
Holy moly.
Awesome. So then go ahead, if you can, Luke, swap over to this PC and we'll show that off. And when we finally swap it over to the PC and show people what it is, tell us all about it.
Magmasaur.
Yeah, has a name.
Has a name, no longer just lava lizard. It is the Magmasaur. Now I know we showed it in the trailer, which is why we're preempting this early, but we haven't given a whole lot of information about this guy. And we haven't really given, other than like a very few shots in the trailer, much that people have seen. So we wanted to do a little bit of in-depth look, highlight some of its abilities, and show those. I'm sure while I'm talking, they might even show the trailer a few more times, just to keep that content going.
Yeah.
But what this is our Magmasaur. He is a very lizard-like creature, walks around more like a thorny dragon.
You're good to go, by the way, Luke. Just
and he is a fire-based creature, and he is very, very, very based on fire and heat, and that carries throughout all of his abilities and mechanics.
Oh, that.
Okay.
The trailer has sound. It's gonna be hard to...
Okay, so I'll try to talk as loud as I can. I hear it has sound. Maybe we can get that fixed, or we'll just play the video.
You can lower the sound, by the way, for the video. It's all right. People have seen the video. It's cool.
Yeah.
So just lower the sound in the video itself. Cool. Go ahead.
And this guy is very based on heat. So he charges up his internal forge. He charges up his heat, and that's where he builds a lot of his attacks from. And based on what area he's in, if he's in a very cold area or he's in water even, that'll affect his ability to charge. So if he's in a very warm environment, somewhere that's volcanic, he's actually going to be very fast, effective. So he'll charge faster.
That's awesome.
He'll get a little bit more charge, and he'll build up to maximum charge much faster. Once he hits that max charge, he is now a superheated thing. So just getting close to him is actually going to hurt you.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Luckily, the players that are riding him are safe. The saddle that he's in is just a giant heat shield, which has the added benefit of letting you actually swim into lava or swim around in lava or be in much, much hotter environments than you normally would be able to. This guy will protect you from those things, and he'll keep you acclimated to where you can go where he can go. and
I heard
he can
you
go anywhere.
I heard you say the words internal forge. Did you mean that literally, or did you just mean that metal, like was?
No, quite literally.
Okay, wow.
Wow.
You drop metal into his inventory, and it'll start smelting down into metal, into metal ore. He likes to eat just about everything. He burns down and digests everything, and he can also turn that into a projectile.
Oh,
I'm sure we showed it on the video.
Yeah, go ahead and play that video again. Thank you.
It's quite a fun projectile because it's our first true artillery-like projectile. You can get a lot of height with it. You can shoot out pretty far, especially for a dino. We haven't had a dino with a real ranged attack, other than like short ranged or like a fire wyvern breath. This projectile is going to reach out quite a bit further.
Is your mic on?
Is my mic on?
Oh.
No, my mic's on.
Cool.
And this is not something like a mech, like a super cannon or anything like that.
Right.
This is a big ball. It's kind of slow. It's fun. And once it...
is it your beard?
No, it's
You know, we might have to shave this thing off now.
no,
Shave
it's
it.
Yeah.
It's the angle or something.
Alright. Thank you.
And once this thing hits an impact somewhere, it's going to explode out in all kinds of fragments, and it's magma, so it leaves behind destruction and creates like almost an area of denial, because going near it's going to burn you. Fire is pretty heavy on this guy, and yes, we will be taking a pass on fire. At least his fire effects, they're not going to be as deadly as previous fire effects. They'll be more reasonable, but they will be fire, and it is going to be dangerous. But he's not very fast, and as soon as it starts raining, or if you're in water or it's cold, he becomes a much slower, much weaker. Once he's actually in water, he can't even charge up his forge. He can't build up the heat. He's just completely extinguished and all his fire's
wow.
out.
Is that the AoE attack, or like how does that work for him? Like,
Well, once he's charged up, he's got. I started going into it, but I didn't go into it enough. He's got multiple options. Like once you charge that forge up, you can just go in meleeing, and you're going to be burning everything within your range. As long as you keep that heat going, you might have to recharge every now and then to keep it up. But you'll get that additional melee, or you can shoot it off, and you'll shoot out your lava type projectile, your long range projectile, which is, it's going to do some damage. It's going to be something that you'll be worried about, but if you're not standing still, it should be easy to dodge at a distance. But up close, it can come in pretty fast. Or you can do a short ranged AoE attack, which they showed in the video, and it looked amazing. That's where all those projectiles were coming flying out of his back and all around the place. It's just he just extinguishes and pushes out his forge and cools it down like rapid fast while doing damage to everything around him.
I heard you talking about the long range attack. I know that with Extinction, people were a little concerned with the range of which some things could attack. Are you taking that into consideration while designing this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I spend maybe a little bit too much time sometimes talking to our players and listening to what they want. I'm sure a lot would say not enough, because my Discord is always full in the morning, and I'm cycling through reading all those things. A lot of it's not so great. It's just not nice. But I do read it all, and I try to respond to what I can. But I'm always listening to what people are saying, taking the feedback that they're saying, and really analyzing the situation to see what the problems are, what the real downsides are. And with this, we're definitely pushing ourselves to the next tier as far as what we're holding ourselves accountable for and what we're trying to account for. And things like turrets and making sure that those are still effective against this, while not being overly effective and making it useless. It's a difficult problem, but we're definitely shooting to solve it and making sure that this is going to do it. And his range is not limited to turret range, but it's really close, and at a distance it is very hard to hit accurately. It's more of a
skill shot type of.
Well, at a distance it's a very, very high skill shot, but you're going to have to arc it up, and you won't be able to see where you're actually shooting, more like a traditional artillery shell. And you're not going to be able to deliver exactly on target. It's going to take time to dial in your shot and where you're going. people who are good at this will be able to, because they always get that good. But it's still going to be a very slow thing coming in because it's going to have to go really high up, and it's a fireball. Like, you can't not see it.
Yeah.
So you know it's coming, and you'll be able to get out of the way. And it's not something like a cannon that's just going to destroy structures left and right. But it will be something that you should worry about. It'll be fun.
Yeah. No,
I've got to say, this is one of my favorite dinos.
Nice. I was going to ask you which is one of your favorites so far.
This is one of my favorites.
Nice.
Magmasaur is...
I thought you were going to start saying it. I was like,
he's cool.
Compare it.
He is cool.
I think, like, stylistically, I love what the Magmasaur looks like. Even that. So I don't know which one on the concept art is the Magmasaur, but that is sick. Like, that's a really cool shot. And a really cool look. I love everything about it. That to me, it's basically like a giant mobile tank.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is crazy to see it in actual context in the game. And like, the first time I saw it, I was like, this is crazy cool. I was like, there's a lot that this thing can offer. So just another aspect of an exciting thing coming out of Genesis. And it fits a lot in, like, it fits a bit of a niche that like hasn't quite been filled yet, and it just does it all.
Yeah, and one of the bigger challenges is if you're dealing with a dinosaur, like, how do you make these things have a cost? Like, because everything does have to have a cost. Like, you have to earn it somehow. And it has to be something that if you're going to use it, especially in our game, because items and dinos, everything that you get, you have to work to get to that. Mm-hmm. Like, it takes a lot of time and effort to get to a base or to get to, you know, having a really good Rex or anything like that. Mm-hmm. These things all have a cost of time. So for us to give something an ability, an attack, to make it strong, it has to have a cost. It has to be something that, you know, you feel the effect of it before making that decision. So this guy, we're exploring that his projectile is a more food-based projectile. So each time he's shooting it, he's consuming significant amounts of food while shooting it. So the challenge is keeping him full and keeping him fed, you know, and his ammo is food. But he does have more, of course, effective foods. So like fuel sources like oil, gas, propellant will be much more effective for this. That is his ammo essentially, but he'll still eat everything else like a normal dino. But this way, we're going for balance as much as we can, but at the same time, it's got to be fun. If it's not enjoyable, right, and it's not something that's exciting,
use it. Yeah. I mean,
and if it's not a little bit scary, then it's not as fun. So we're gonna deliver.
And it sounds like, I mean, at least with the first two creatures that we've heard about, and in terms of more detail, it sounds like there's a little bit more management in terms of managing states. You know, with this, it's more of managing the heat state. And when you want to, you know, and with the shapeshifter, sorry, I want to say proper names, it's more of managing, you know, its state and its element. So I find that interesting because I like things like that. You know, I like a little bit more strategy and management when it comes to managing creatures. So I'm interested with those type of mechanics because those are the things that, honestly, they draw me a little bit closer to whichever creature I'm particularly using at that point.
Well, and the more we start diving into what a creature can do and what it can do really well, and we try to push that boundary, like you get closer and closer, and it gets easier to make something that's too strong.
Yep.
So we have to find ways to, you know, make it, this is the way you need to play, and kind of direct that creature's abilities into a format so that you can counterplay it. So that you know what they're doing and that you can play it badly, because if there's a way to play it wrong, then playing it right is so much more rewarding and it's fun. Mm-hmm. And it's making sure that they can play it right and they can play it fun. But if you don't play it right, and if someone is, you know, for this guy, anyone that's long range and just moving and shooting back at him is going to be a hassle for this guy, because he can't get long range quick. So if it's a mobile thing, it's going to be really hard for him to deal with that, and then he'll have to close the distance, and then he's strong again because he deals really strong damage. But that gives other people an opportunity to counter it, and that's important too. Like,
no, it's very important.
For something to be strong, it has to be able to be dealt with, because then it just becomes the thing that everyone's using. And
Panic armor.
Alex.
Manic armor. Well, and it was, and that's the thing is, you know, we tread that fine line between fun and balance, and it's a very
it's a fine line. No, and that's why, I mean, we get a lot of good suggestions from the community, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of valuable information that comes from that, but I think a lot of people underestimate how easy it is to balance things out. You know, it's when you have all of these moving parts, all of these dinos, all of these items, all these structures, all these different play styles, balance becomes a little bit harder than just tweak this number 2% and everything will be perfect. Yeah, it might be perfect for that one scenario, but that has a ripple effect that you then start to see in other places. So it's a constant thing that, you know, the designers have to look at. They have to look at, you know, what the current meta is, because that can also, change the way that we design, or also change the way that we...
There's plenty of times that our players find out a way to play the game that we couldn't even imagine that would be something that would be effective. A lot of times we do, it's expected, you know, like building a trap to catch a dino from your quets. But the ways they do it is always ingenious.
Yep.
And there are definitely game styles or play styles that we didn't anticipate and we had to adjust for, or we had to, you know, limit something because it was too easy to take advantage of something that we didn't expect. But that's the great thing about our iteration time, is just we're able to keep up with it as much. We try to, at least.
Yeah, and it's on that same note. It's hard to account for all these ideas that players have with how they're going to use things.
They're so creative.
Yeah, it's hard to try to think of all these options that can come from one thing, and you know that's one of the things of development that is challenging, is you don't know how people are going to use it. You have an idea of how you're going to use it, and when you do QA, they have an idea of how they're going to use it. And a lot of times when it goes to the players, they're like, nah, we're going to do it a whole different way, you know, and a lot of that.
It's even better sometimes.
Yeah, and a lot of times
like,
it is.
Man, that's awesome.
Yes, it's even better, but it forces us to, you know, readjust sometimes, look at different things, you know, look at different creatures differently, make tweaks to, you know, the current balance and things like that. But I did want to bring that up because I know that, you know, people were very vocal about some of the things at Extinction that may have changed the meta a little bit. And I know one of the things was distance, the distance at which you're able to take things out at, and turret range and things like that. So just know that that is going into consideration, you know, with the things that we're showing you. I know people are probably just like, OP, right?
Well, and it's, these are all things that we've spent months building out the plans and the design of these things, just making sure and refining it to fit a good play style. So it's hard for me to keep it all in mind, and I just want to assure people that we definitely are doing our absolute best and our absolute hardest to deliver a fun game, as always.
Oh, for sure.
Alright, so the Magmasaur. Very interesting, cool creature we have here. I love the absolute concept art. Can we just talk about this real quick? This concept art is gorgeous because it just feels like it lives in the lava. And obviously the in-game model does also have that kind of feature, but the concept art, you know, I mean, the concept art is very realistic as it can be as a thing, but the in-game model obviously looks pretty cool. And I like how they're bringing their design aspect from Extinction, where the ice jumper is extremely OP in PvP. That's all I hear about. I don't even care about the damn dino, but that's all you hear about is how ridiculous OP. And I'm liking how this creature right here is that they're trying to not make it like the ice jumper or the Magmasaur, of how it's such an OP creature in such a scenario where it's fast, it can freeze, it has a lot of energy. You know, this creature has drawbacks to using it and also benefits for using it. For one, the drawbacks for using it is that it's super weak against lava, or water, sorry, I don't know why. It's great in lava. It's weak against water, so if it's raining, it can get debuffed, and also if you go into the water, you can't even use half its abilities, so that's pretty cool. So I'm wondering also if there's going to be some sort of aquatic creature that will spew water out, so that way it can kind of interact with this creature or something. I don't know. Very interesting to think about if you think about that. But yeah, anyways, talk about this creature. It's very cool. It's official that we can tame it. It's official that it has a mount. It's got a really cool techie mount. It could be on the top of it. And I think it's gorgeous. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited to see, and also that landscape in the background is so gorgeous. Did you see the lava aspect of the thing? I mean, I don't know who's ever gonna live there, but damn, that place looks phenomenal. And I actually cannot wait to build a mad scientist lab there, because I feel like I could easily do that because of all the little spikes and everything with the dark clouds and everything. So yeah, so that's my 2 cents on this. What is your 2 cents? Link in the description down below to the Extra Life donation, and also the Twitch stream for where all this information is coming from. And also in the comments down below, I'd like to hear your opinion about this guy, because this is rock solidly lava. So yeah, man, let's watch this one more time before we end it. Look at this gorgeous dude. Oh man, though I didn't mind the lava lizard. Didn't look too bad. Look at that. Look at that. Boy, oh boy. Shoots lava out of its mouth. It also has a projectile of lava around it. All the holes where the lava holes can shoot projectile lava everywhere. Very cool creature. But yeah, anyways, link in the description down below. Check out all the links. And I'll see you guys in the next one.